Hi, and welcome to a self-published author's diary. I am your host, Elodie Novodatsky, and I talk about the ups and downs of self-publishing, really of my ups and downs in the self-publishing world. And today it's a recording that I've recorded on May 2nd, based on a post that I shared with my Patreon subscribers on March 18th, and then shared with my newsletter, and now shared with my Substack. And I thought I also want, not that I should, but I also want to share it with you all. I have a few listeners who have been listening to this podcast for a few years now. I know I haven't been very consistent being with my Substack or this podcast. I am gearing up for a possible release of a nonfiction, and I was thinking that I might want to chat about it, but I also do not want to. It's important to me because I think everybody has different ways of dealing with it. There is no right or wrong way. There is no, sharing is not a must. I feel like sharing your personal life and things that affect you is not a must. I think everybody needs to do what they're comfortable with and what is right for them. And when it comes to me right now, it feels right to share that why I have been pretty silent on social media. And I don't know if I'm going to go back on social media, on Insta or Facebook. Maybe I will. I'm thinking about updating my website pretty much every week with what I've done during the week and links to different things that I've been doing on the Patreon, on the podcast, on Substack, and all those things. And I'm doing another long introduction to something that will also have a long introduction. But basically, I am talking in this episode about grief. I lost my father to pancreatic cancer on February 6, 2026, and it's still fucking hard to say. So I am going to stop here for now. I mean, right now, but keep on listening if you want to listen to the actual post that I'm going to do a beep, and I'm just going to say beep, and then the post will actually, the episode will actually start. Clearly I'm very well organized with this episode. So there we go. If you want to keep on listening, the post is called "This Post is an Grain Gesture," and I'm reading it out loud, and it explains what has been going on in the past couple of months. And I also share an excerpt of my Christmas wish list, because I have gone back to writing in mid-March. Those are also ups and downs and waves when it comes to writing. I'm actually recording this when I should be writing. So here we go. Beep for the post. Beep. This post isn't a grand gesture. It isn't a grand post. It's a pretty sad and honest post. There's a donkey at the end if you're reading this on my Substack or you're seeing this somewhere else. There's an actual picture of a donkey. I posted this on my Patreon on March 18th, 2026, and I sent it to my newsletter that same week. So my apologies if you see it more than once. Also, full disclosure, I'm writing this here too because I might use my Substack again a bit more regularly, as I'm thinking about releasing a nonfiction book, which I wrote in 5 days and poured out of me and deals with cancer and creativity. And it feels weird to me not to mention why I took an even longer break than usual. Not that I'm super active or post every week, but here I am. And also because I guess part of me wants to talk about my dad, and not writing about it also feels weird. So again, I wrote this post mid-March. I would most likely write it differently now. To me, grief is not stagnant or static. Sometimes it's surreal, and sometimes it grabs you by the heart and squeezes, and sometimes it's just this emptiness you don't know what to do with. And sometimes, yes, it's gratitude for the person and the moments, but right now, this gratitude is still very much mixed by the physical ache of missing and of wishing. So, yep, that's the post. And also I'm back writing my rom-com, and also this is a long introduction. So here I go. Hey you, it's me dipping my fingers into writing after a long break, not my toes, because I don't write with my toes. And I have so many emotions weighing on my mind, my heart. That same heart that has formed a habit of clenching out of the blue, but here I am because right now I want to write happy moments filled with all those feelings. And I'm trying. My father passed away on February 6th from pancreatic cancer. Those words still seem very surreal, and when they hit hard because my father was the kind of father who supported us, made us laugh, listened to us, and he was a kind, funny, wonderful man. I could share so many anecdotes with you. I could tell you how sometimes I forget when the phone rings that it will never be him again. I could talk for hours about him. I know the many, 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 many memories I have will make me smile one day more than they make me cry. And I also know that this loss leaves such an emptiness that I wasn't prepared for, and that grief takes many forms, that not everyone feels the same things at the exact same time, that some people grieve for years even before something happens, that the end doesn't look the same for everyone, that people grieve for relationships they wish they had. In a way, I think I'm lucky to grieve for the relationship I had with my father all my life. For the man he was, even if treatments had taken a toll, he was still living, and it's been a lot, and it's been devastating. I was telling the chemical engineer the other day that I don't even know if I remember how to write. And when I mentioned that to one of my writer friends yesterday in the virtual office I just went back to, she said, "The last time you wrote before, you'll never get back to that exact place, to that moment." And this was a realization I didn't have yet. And I think one reason I was avoiding writing and focusing on many other things, because it's true. I'm finding ways to honor my father, to stay close, to continue while heartbroken. I've taken up jogging again. And again, here does a lot of work because I never really jogged a lot. And I've started working again, slowly, like my runs, and I'm trying. So here we go, because this way feels right for me right now. And also I'm very lucky to have a therapist who already knows me very well, hours, years really, of therapy behind me. She can support me and tell me that all those feelings I have, the waves and the crashes and the tears and the smiles, are all normal. And I also have a wonderful husband and family and friends. So here's an excerpt of what I'm currently working on. I changed the horse into a donkey. If you've read to a former version, I'm revising Sophie and Liam's story, and we'll soon add new words to it. So I titled this excerpt Donkey. Last night, Not Here for Love had me blushing all over, even made me believe this Christmas season might be everything I wanted. After all, flirting while enjoying a hot cocoa with marshmallows? Definitely top 5 moments of this month. This morning, though, I'm perched on a donkey, trying very hard not to throw up my breakfast or whatever is left of my dignity. "You go, Miss Wilson, best school trip ever." Gracie spins around with the biggest smile I've seen since I started substituting at Swansco's Middle 5 weeks ago. "This was totally on my Christmas wish list." I grin back at her, even though my spine has turned into steel and my heart thumps way too loudly. I probably look like a horror version of the elf. "On mine too," Diego adds. "Great. What's on yours, Miss Wilson?" My list would get me called to the principal's office. It includes keeping my parents from throwing their marriage down Swanscove drains, adopting a kitten, and, I don't know, hot sex with an eligible bachelor who murmur things like, "Sophie, I want you like I want my next breath," while making me dinner. Unless I become the dinner. The donkey underneath me brays loudly. He was not on my list. "On my list?" I croak out. "Cookies." "Like the donkey. Miss Wilson, I think Cookie wants to go on the beach." "I didn't know Cookie also had a wish list," I murmur, and the donkey has to understand me because it takes another step towards the exit. "Sorry, Cookie, I love hearing the ocean roar too, but I'm even more of a fan of not wandering far from the Equine Center. It has cake, Christmas music, and professionals who know how to handle you." Definitely not on my list, being thrown from a donkey. I tug on the Give Me Hives health costume. "See," I tell Ben, who's looking at me with big eyes while playing totally cool. "Cookie is so sweet." My voice may be a bit high-pitched, but at least I'm not jumping off the donkey. I wait for a second, ready to give him another angle, like how Cookie works as a read with me donkey and how it's his last event before the winter storm next week. The staff said donkeys can't handle cold and wet temperature that well, and tomorrow they'll be kept warm with hay and happiness. The beginning of December has been pretty warm. He does seem nice, Ben finally says, reaching his hand out toward Cookie. I nod, while my brain screeches. "You sure about this?" "No, brain, I'm not sure." And yet, here I am again, which really should be my middle name, Sophie, here I am again, Wilson, instead of Sophie Hope Wilson. I once agreed to plan a wedding in Ireland in 3 days for a couple who wanted real ghosts. Don't ask. I once thought being the reliable one was a personality trait, not a coping mechanism. And I once believed one curl your toes, twist your panties kiss with off-limits Liam O'Connor was the beginning of my happily ever after. It's a pattern. I'm aware. I have a habit of saying yes before my nervous system catches up. I glance down and my stomach lurches into my throat. Turns out my nervous system has notes. Thank you so much for listening. This was just me, as I said, dipping my fingers back into, here in this case, my podcast, Substack, all of this, trying to figure out what my next steps are in addition to finishing writing my Christmas wish list. And if you are seeing this on any platform that has pictures, there is a picture of my father and I in the village I grew up in on the day the chemical engineer and I got married. My father was the mayor and officiated the civil ceremony, and there is a donkey in the field next to us. So if any of you want to make a donation for pancreatic cancer research, or if you want to have a cake and think about, if you knew my dad, think about my dad. If you didn't know my dad, think about moments where you can make a difference and just be present with the people around you, because that's something I think my dad would be happy with. Okay. Thank you again for listening, and I wish you a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever time it is when you're listening to this. Bye. And thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode. I won't tell you to subscribe or hit or whatever. As I said at the end of the recording, if you want to do something, if you be present in the moment, if you can make a donation for research to help patients who have been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And I just hope you have a day filled with happy moments and maybe books and maybe something that makes you feel at ease and somebody who makes you feel seen.